Come along for a trip to Garner State Park. We are going to do some hiking, some camping, some sightseeing, and we're going to give you a park review. I'm going to let Corey get a word in edgewise from time to time, and of course there will be a whole lot of Hazel cuteness, so come join us. Our trip from Northeast Houston to Garner State Park was our longest road trip to date with our camper. It was about 6 hours if you include all the stops. We did make an attempt to pull over to Buc-ee's in Luling, and it was under construction. As of the recording of this video, November 30th, 2023, it could have been because of the holidays, but if I'm being honest, Buc-ee's is always packed. In my opinion, it's kind of become a tourist trap and kind of gimmicky now that a lot of people vlog from there and draw a lot of attention to it. But I've started opting for alternative truck stop places like Love's and Pilot, and I found this really cool convenience store by accident called the Texan on I-10 in Schluenberg, I think is how you pronounce it. I had gotten sick and we needed to pull off the road, and that was the first place we stumbled upon, and I'm so glad we found it. It is, in my opinion, just as nice as Buc-ee's, just as much of a selection of food. It's just a bit smaller and less crowded. So here's Hazel. She finally sees her dad and sister walking back to the camper. We could tell that we were almost there. The scenery changed. It was just so beautiful with all the hills. And from what I understand, checking in to Garner State Park in the summer peak months, it could take up to 2 hours. But we got super lucky going in the off season. Check-in was a breeze. Corey was in and out of the office in about 5 minutes. We made it, girl. Just in time for the sun to go down. It only took 6 hours. Here is our campsite, and you see this path right here, which leads us to the restroom. The upside to having the bathhouse so close to where we were staying is we like to take a shower. Even though we have a shower in our camper, it's so small you can hardly move around. If you drop something, forget about it. But it was nice being so close to the bathhouse. The only drawback, if you're one of those people that does not like other people to cut through your site, this might be a problem for you. We didn't have a problem with it, but others might. By the time we set up camp, there wasn't a whole lot of time left in the day to explore the park. The sun was starting to set, but we did decide to just go ahead and walk around our campsite and see what we could find. We didn't really have time to study our map or look at any of the trails, but we did just see this gravel path and decided to take it and see where it went. And boy, are we glad we did. We found a beautiful little piece of paradise. This wasn't even the main part of the river, the Frio River. This was just a little piece over by where we were staying. It was very quiet and secluded. Nobody was over there. The Frio River has the prettiest water, in my opinion, of all the rivers in Texas. It's completely see-through. You can see the bottom. You can see all the fish swimming around. It was so gorgeous at that time of evening with the sun setting in the backdrop. Absolutely stunning. Hazel tried to step into it to take a sip of water, and she learned real quickly that they don't call it the Frio for nothing. Back at the campsite, Olivia's getting settled into her hammock just in time to watch the sunset. Sometimes you can't really pick the best spot by looking at it on the map because it doesn't show you where all the trees are and if they block your view. So we like to scout out for future stays, and 432 and 434 is where it's at. As we were watching the sunset, we noticed this. I have no idea what it is. I have a couple of guesses, but if you know what this is, please leave it down in the comments. We decided to drive around the park and explore the area. The tent camping area was beautiful, had some great views. Some of the sites had shelters, and it was very accessible to the main part of the river. You can also rent paddle boards and kayaks. There are plenty of places to spread out by the river and have picnics, lots of parking for day use guests. The weather was so perfect, we had to pull over and park so we could get out and just take in the scenery. The fall foliage was just absolutely stunning. In a way, it's kind of a bummer that we're not here during the summer months where we can get into the water, but you can't trade the changing of the leaves for anything. This is absolutely great. I wouldn't have it any other way. It turns out that there are multiple paths to get down to the river, like the one we showed you earlier by our campsite. So here is another one we stumbled upon. Unfortunately, the scenic overlook was barricaded off. I think that the fence was kind of unstable, so you couldn't get up near to get a photo or to look at the view. We had to kind of stay back at a safe distance. Now it's time to hike to Crystal Cave Trail. Hazel got the best workout of them all with those little 2-inch long legs. She kept running back and forth from me to Corey just to check on us and make sure we were both okay. Each step up these rocks was a strategy. It took time for sure. If you see me looking around trying to figure out where to go next. There were so many people congregated at Crystal Cave, it was impossible to get any video footage. There were a lot of children. And so after we finished that hike, we just went home and kind of had a lazy dinner. Corey made himself a wrap. I had some leftover tamales, and then we just chilled and watched a couple of movies and enjoyed the rest of the evening. Hazel, what you doing? Are you guarding your castle? Give Mama the kisses. Hazel, what do you think of all these dogs around us? You like to bark at them when you're safe and sound in your daddy's arms, huh? While we're waiting for our cranberry pork to grill, we thought we would talk to you about our mid-stay park review. So yesterday we climbed to Crystal Cave. Some advice I'd give you if you've had a knee replacement or if you've got any kind of injuries, be careful, because the few days that we've been here, it's real moist and dewy in the morning, and the rocks were just kind of slippery. It's a bunch of loose gravel. Just be careful. And when we got to the top, there were a bunch of people there. I know that's kind of hard to plan or time because there's multiple ways to get to that location. So people, I think, came from the other side. But when we got up there, what would you say? There were about 50 people up there.
So far, it's really nice. First time since I've been in Texas, I saw the leaves change. So
that's true. I think this was our second attempt to stay here. I think we've been trying to get into this park for a couple of years.
It's just dry.
Dry. Okay, so we canceled this park for being too dry and the water level being too low. I will be honest, because I'm one of those people, if I have a great experience, I share it. If I have a negative experience, I share it. So yesterday, after climbing the Crystal Cave, we went into the ice cream shop, and there was a young teen girl that was just sitting there on her phone. And right in front of us, she got up and darted out of the room and went to the back of the store. And after about 5 minutes of waiting, I finally said, hello? She didn't come back. She sent some young kid, and she said, I'm not taking them, you take them. But she did come back in and get her belongings and leave. So I found that to be pretty rude. Then this wasn't the guy's fault, unless he just didn't want to make what we were asking. Went in there first to get a smoothie. He said, we don't have any ice. So I said, okay, we'll take a milkshake. We don't have any milk. They only had like 3 flavors of ice cream. That was kind of a negative experience. We turn around and go into the gift shop, which is connected to the ice cream store, and we see that rude girl that ghosted us again. And once again, she is just sitting there on her phone, laughing and talking with a couple of other young employees, completely ignoring us. That wasn't a pleasant experience. They may want to consider training their staff that works in retail a little bit better, but other than that, we're having a great time. We are going to Old Baldy today. We're going to hike that. We're waiting on our egg bites. We got about 6 minutes on those. The sausages are done. I guess I picked a bad time to start asking philosophical opinions when he's cooking.
The Crystal Cave was a nice hike. It's November, so I guess it's a good time. I hate to be here in the summer, so for it to be too hot, then there's just way too many people. There were a lot of people on the river yesterday. It's a nice park. It was probably worth the drive over. So
I do not share in his sentiment. I do have a bad knee. And as I mentioned in our previous video at Camp Femfo, I fell on both of my knees. I'm still recovering from that. So going up a bunch of slippery rocks where each step has to strategically be planned. You've got smooth, bigger rocks over here where you have to step up higher and step down lower. That was hard, but then also going down on all these moving rocks. It was a little bit stressful, and honestly, because we got to the cave and it was so crowded, we didn't even go in the cave. Our daughter went in by herself, but we had Hazel. The first couple of steps into the cave are real deep. I mean, you practically have to sit down on your rear end and step down into the cave. It's not one you can just walk in and it's a flat surface. The whole reason my daughter wanted to go is because she collects crystals. She thought because it was Crystal Cave that she would be seeing all these crystals. And honestly, it was just real dark in there. I am However, looking forward to going to Old Baldy because that looks like a little bit safer hike. It didn't look like there was as many loose rocks. It's a lot easier to hike in November than it is in June or July in Texas. We wanted to do a review on the cranberry sausages from HEB. I loved it. When I make the little cocktail wieners, I usually squirt some barbecue sauce and put some kind of jelly in there, usually a grape jelly, but it's kind of got that sweet and savory vibe.
Good. They had a little sweetness to them. I guess that's cranberry, but they're pretty smoky. I like them.
I would definitely buy these again. So when you take your dog for a long hike, you might want to get some of this Musher Secret or something similar. We definitely got a start on the wrong foot, no pun intended. Corey had the wrong shoes, I had new shoes, and Olivia forgot her shoes, so she had to wear mine. Alright, let's do this. This hike took a little bit longer than we expected, and we did it a little later in the day, and with the sun setting so early, we decided not to go all the way to the top when we looked around and noticed that the view was remaining the same at each elevation, so we went ahead and turned around. I was intrigued and delayed a little bit by this butterfly that was in my path. I did not want to disturb him, so I stood there for a few minutes just waiting for him to take his time and go away, but eventually I had to take a step, so I just shoot him away. What do you think of Old Baldy?
It was a pretty strenuous hike.
I cried on the way down.
Yeah.
I had the wrong shoes. I'm going to find the closest dumpster and dump these things. They really did not do me any good. I highly recommend hiking sticks. Seriously, there's so much uneven ground, and hiking sticks are a must.
Water. Take your water with you. And use a backpack. Yesterday we carried everything. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
We used the backpack today, made it a whole lot easier.
Tiger Balm. Icy hot. But if you do have any kind of whiskey, if you have any kind of pain or injuries, I do not recommend that hike. It was beautiful, but just Google the pictures from what it looks like on the top. I don't know. I don't even think we made it all the way, did we? We were like, how many feet away?
I don't know how many. It was like 70 feet in elevation away.
70 feet in elevation? That could have been another, 30 minutes or something?
No, I don't think it's that long.
Oh, for the way we were going, it would have been. It's also kind of scary because there's no rail or anything. You could literally just one false move and you could tumble over the sides. She was so good to me. Corey kept darting off and leaving me behind, and I was going really slow, going to Corey and then coming back to check on me to make sure that I was doing okay. All in all, it's been a fun visit at this park. Definitely camping in the fall is more our thing in Texas. We put our camper away for the summer. We don't like to go camping in the summer. That's your sister coming to the car. I bet this place gets turned up in the summer. From what I understand, they have live bands and DJs and dancing at this outdoor venue every day of the summer, and it's really cool. It kind of looks like a castle, and they have food trucks, they have gift shops, ice cream shops if you can get somebody to wait on you, they have a general store, so many attractions, so many fun things to do for the family. If you look closely at the wall, you can see an outline of the girl like Wile E. Coyote as she tried to hightail it out of there when we came in. Now we are going into the general store. Anything that you might have possibly forgotten to pack or bring with you, they can hook you up. This is a real popular place to come watch the eclipse, and I know that there's going to be one in April of 2024. Just a heads up, if you want to book this park, you might want to get on it. Went ahead and got this decal. I can't put it on the camper, but I might can put it on the window of my car. Just says, hiked it, liked it, Garner State Park. Hey, what'd you get in that general store? You were in there a few minutes.
Well, couldn't decide on the salsa I wanted. You know, I always like to get a salsa when we go somewhere.
I know that's right.
They had a ghost pepper one, but I think I've got 2 of those at home. So I got the fire roasted peppers, which basically looks like the peppers I roast. But hey, we'll try it. Texas squeeze, grapefruit juice, because it's hard for us to get good grapefruit juice. Alright, what did you get?
Okay, I kind of went nuts because they have so much unique candy in there. I got this Bob Ross flavor palette. I don't know if this is like Fun Dip, but I got this for Chloe. It's got strawberry, blue raspberry, and green apple. For Olivia, we're both Golden Girls fans. Actually, Chloe is too. You know the episode where Rose takes the snotty kid's bear and keeps it? It says, "Sometimes life just isn't fair, kiddo." That's one of her famous one-liners on that show. And what this is, it's Fernando's missing ear. And they are shaped like little bear ears, and I don't even know if it says what the flavor is. Oh well, it's not important. That was a fun novelty. This is the one for Olivia. As anybody who watches Golden Girls knows, they love their cheesecake. This is a strawberry vanilla cheesecake flavored mints, I think. So that's for Olivia. How long has it been since you've seen clove gum? Do you remember this, babe?
Yeah, we bought some at that Gibson's in Kerrville.
Which Gibsons are like so hard to find. Yeah, Kerrville is where we got that. I got a couple of these Hammond's candy bars. The Pigs and Taters has bacon and potato chips in it. Chicken and waffle. I thought that sounded intriguing. It's got like little pieces of dehydrated chicken and waffles with maple syrup. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Garner State Park. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notifications next time we travel.